In a world focused on the individual, this podcast aims to shine a light on the remarkable spirit of humanity. We're dedicated to bringing you the inspiring conversations with exceptional organizations and individuals devoted to creating a better world. Welcome to the Lighthouse Keepers Podcast. Welcome to the Lighthouse Keepers Podcast. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Sherlock, and today I'm very excited to not only introduce you to a wonderful guest, but a very dear friend. Please welcome Jocelyn Kaleita. Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Jocelyn is the owner of the Book Place, A Book Place in Riverhead, and also which is celebrating their 3rd anniversary.
Yes, on July 1st.
July 1st. But Jocelyn is so much more than a bookstore owner. This one is personal. Jocelyn is the biggest cheerleader for those of us who are homegrown Long Island authors, always willing to highlight our books, invite us in, allow us to do readings, meet your customers, meet your family. When you talk about a family business, you've welcomed me into that family. So I want to, for all of us, and we all know who we are, that have been at your store, opening your store and your time to us. And I know I've said this to you, not only in you finding your dream, which was to always open a bookstore, you also help us achieve our dream. You know, writing a book is a wonderful thing. Sharing it is the joy. So I'd love for you to tell our viewers a little bit, because I know this crazy story of how A Book Place came to be. So can you tell us the story?
Sure. I was a bookseller young. I loved stories. I loved being read to. And my dad was a FedEx driver in West Hampton. There was an independent bookstore there that had just opened, and I got a job there. And I started at 14 and worked for over 10 years. My mom was a librarian, and so I ended up following her footsteps, became a librarian, and then became somewhat of a teacher librarian. Worked for a little bit, then decided I did not want to teach, and pursued being a public librarian for over 14 years and a private librarian currently, as well as running the bookstore. And that whole journey and story taught me that there's more to selling books in a bookstore, that the stories that are there aren't just mine to sell and give away, that people work really hard for them. Oh. And I wanted to be able to, bring those families in or bring those stories and have them available. And I know that just because some big publishers are able to find you or you're finding them, that sometimes the smaller stories that are homegrown should also be available to everybody. And so when small stories like that are from around the corner, yes, or up the island or down at the beach, yes, come to me, that we try to make them available. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't always happen easily and right away, but sometimes we have 2 people come, sometimes we have 10, sometimes, we have a street
bonanza.
fair. Yeah,
yes.
And it just happenstance you meet them.
Right.
But it's really rewarding.
Right. And so you actually opened the store sort of in COVID.
Tail end. The dream was 12 years prior, and I bought a part
of... The patience is real.
Determination, patience, kick
Pretty
in the butt
close.
that I got. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, brainstorming, what do you call it when all the things just start to match at that one point?
The universe is making
Yes.
this happen for you. Jerry, so just so you guys know, to our viewers, if you're ever out on Long Island, you are literally right next to the Long Island Aquarium.
Yes, so it's the Long Island Aquarium, and then move a little east, and you have the Hyatt, and then you move a little bit more east and you have the restaurant Jerry and the Mermaid, and I'm the little shop in the same building right in front. So we look like we're part of Jerry and the Mermaid. But the front of the store says A Book Place, and we face Main Street.
Got it.
And if you keep going east towards the wineries and the water, you passed us.
So it's such a and the only reason I'm saying this is because people, when they go out to Long Island, like you made this wonderful comment. You're like, if you're going out that far on Long Island, you're actually going for the day, you're going to the beach, you're going to get on a ferry, stop and get a book.
Yep.
Stop and get a book.
Just stop and get a book.
But you're not only, and I think this is probably what I really want to share with our viewers, which is, it's not just a bookstore. You have everybody in there. You have people that, and again, local artisans, candle makers, jewelry makers, people that do amazing stuff with sea glass. Let's go. Just amazing, amazing people that are just like, this is what I like to do, and I'd love to be able to sell it. And people come in for a gift or a birthday, or I'm going out and I need a hostess gift, and I got all these books and these wonderful handmade things, and it's so personal and it's so Long Island. But it's also so you. And you've also, I don't know if I want to put this out there, but I'm going to, have been so good about when you talk to a lot of school districts and they have parents as reading partners and, hey, could we get some local authors be willing to come read to kids? You're like, I know, I got a Rolodex of people like, this is the stuff we live for.
That's the librarian in me. I'm a connector. I like to bring everybody together. So I like to group, so let's bring everything. Planning is something that I just absolutely love. I don't have to see the finished product.
Right.
So if I could gather everybody that I know is this will all fit together and we'll have a really good event or a really good product and put everything great. And then everybody has a good time. They all benefit. Everybody gets something. And that's what is so magic about my store, because you're sitting here saying, you do this. I don't do it all. Everybody else does.
Right. Which is sometimes very different. A lot of people, when they have a store, they have one objective, which is to sell this. And I believe that's never been your objective. The objective is that what you come in for, you will find here. If you're looking for a children's book, if you're looking for a wonderful mystery book, if you're looking for a gift for somebody, you will find everything in your store, because you know that there's something for everybody, and just supportive of it. I think that's the most important thing. Let me just talk about, if I can, the woman thing. As a woman-owned business, how many of us have come in, and that's what I'm saying, you're always willing to bring people in and be like, listen, I want to be part of your dream, like, bring it in, whatever I can do. Here's your brick and mortar store for the day, knock yourself out, stay as long as you want.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, we do a homeschool crochet class every Thursday, and it started because there was a group of homeschool parents that wanted a place for their kids to learn crochet, and they purchased an hour and a half of the store every Thursday. And we were so thankful in the beginning, and still are, because they pushed it so that it continued to go for over the time that they used it. And the class is still going with different children now every single week. And what's wonderful is that we actually had kids come on as scholarship the past 2 weeks. So somebody came in, saw this class happening, and was so excited that she saw a place for these kids to come. And she said, I know some kids that would really greatly benefit from this, but I don't think they could necessarily afford it. So I'm going to pay for their classes. And she did. And she brought them in, and they are flourishing. They each get 4 classes. And it was just wonderful. And she bought a gift certificate for the store, and I gave books, donated books to them too. And the kids had such a wonderful experience. So it was a collaborative community effort that was with it. And I think that's part of my background. I've never seen a bookstore just as like a way to, this is going to sound a little crude, but take your money.
Right.
It's not a physical, like, let me just do an exchange with you.
The transactional is just much beyond the financial.
For me, my store is a personal experience. I want you to come in. I want you to feel like it's your home, like you're making
It's as comfortable as walking into somebody's house.
You're welcome.
Yeah, go get in the refrigerator.
Please,
go help yourself to
browse,
something. Yes.
Enjoy, make a connection. If there's not something here today that you want, tell me what you're interested in and let me learn.
Yeah.
And come back.
I've seen so much of the people that continue to come back, and because they're
so lucky.
They're the favorites. We can't wait for this book to come back. We're going to wait outside, and they do. And they're the faithful, I will drive. I don't want to get it from Amazon.
Oh my goodness, I have people from Westchester that come.
Yeah.
They call and they'll reserve their books because they're taking a trip out here, or they're going to visit their family in Connecticut, and they're driving by and they know that they're coming by the store. Yeah. And they're like, do you have these books, or can you order them and we'll pick them up? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. We can ship them to you if it's easier. No, we want to come in the store. There's extra stuff we're going to find.
This is a little bit like Cheers in the store.
That's so funny you say that.
Everybody knows your name. You want to be there.
Yep.
There's a much easier way to do it, potentially, but the joy is not there. The connection is not there.
There's many people that have my cell phone number that text me very early in the morning, and they say, we know it's early, but can you get me this book? And I just flag it so that I can remember, and take a picture of it so that I can remember, or email it to myself so I can remember. Right. And if I forget, they just send a reminder. Yes. But it's community, it's understanding.
Right. Well, that's the next thing, because I just realized you were part, and you're very involved in the whole Riverhead community street fairs.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of, I think, maybe, I don't know, please let me know. Where has the community gone? Where are the townspeople? Where are those? And your store is such a part of that community. It goes beyond that. And I think that's kind of like what's missing. We talked a little bit about, remember when there used to be bookstores everywhere, and then they weren't. And then there were electronic devices. I'm going to come clean. Did I have a Kindle? I did. Because I was commuting on Metro North, some of those really heavy books, I was like, this could save my shoulder. And another perk, if you finished that book, you were, now what am I going to do? You went open on the Kindle and ordered another book, and bam, in 5 minutes you had something else to read the rest of your commute home. Not saying I was happy about it. I'm back to dog-earing pages. Because there is a moment where, like, yeah, that's cool. Hey, let me try that. But true book lovers, we love our books. Yeah. And I think people are coming back to it with a vengeance. Need to talk a little bit about, how do you feel about this resurgence where everybody in the world is saying, get off your phone, kids, get out there and play, go be creative, be the person in your own show. I don't know who wrote that book. But don't watch it on TV, don't watch it on your device, go and actively participate in being creative.
It's a catch-22, because is reading a book being creative, or you're still stagnant and sitting?
Yes.
But I mean, you're active in your mind.
Yes.
So I mean, no, it's not as a quandary, quandary as we think it is. Reading is absolutely such a power for your brain. And I'm obviously an advocate. I'm a bookseller. I'm a book advocate. I
it's
want
in your
you.
family DNA, I think.
It strongly is. One of my children used to go to sleep and put books under her pillow after we read them, because she wanted to finish getting it through osmosis.
I love it.
It's. I think children do. They love being read to. My 10-year-old loves to still be read to. Yes. She reads 4 books at a time, 4 different books at a time. Yeah. And I ask her, what is it that you're liking about all of them? And she can tell me different things about all of them. Yes. My 4-year-old he likes to watch things on TV, but then he gets books from the library that complement what he's learning on TV. Right. If he has questions, he's looking up what's happening and being like, well, this book says this. Can that really happen? Right. Yeah. I have kids that come into the store and they follow their parents to the adult section, and then their parents are like, go look at the kids section. And they're like, but alone? And I'm like, oh, well, can I help you? Yes. And they have no problem walking over with me. Right.
I just think the thing about books that's so interesting is it is whatever's going to interest you. So this is a true story. My younger brother met you. I was at a book fair. Remember, my younger brother Gerard came in. My younger brother Gerard is a chef. And you said to him, when he was talking, and you said, so when are you going to write your cookbook? And you laughed, and he was like, I never thought of that. Oh. So you kind of spark an interest. There's a creativity. And can anybody write a book?
Yeah.
Are you going to write a book, Jocelyn?
Oh, God.
About your bookstore? Come on.
How many people have asked me that since I was 5?
Yeah. I guess it's coming.
The toggles in my brain are constantly writing. Yes. I'm a journalist at heart. I'm a writer at heart, but I've worked with them. I've worked with. Yes. I mean, she's sitting right here. I don't.
Maybe not now, Mary Ellen. Maybe when it slows down.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a biography or a memoir or something coming.
Things constantly being written.
Right.
Again, I don't like finished products.
Yeah. Oh, good. I like that.
So books are finished.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you this question. Maybe I shouldn't. What is your all-time favorite book? Yeah. I mean, you can have one.
Alice in Wonderland is my favorite.
Jackpot.
She's just. There's pieces of it that you can relate throughout your whole life.
Yes. Falling down that rabbit hole is a big one for me.
Every single story is a rabbit hole. Every single life circumstance is a rabbit hole. You learn from it. You're guessing. You don't know what's around the corner. There are scary bits. There are happy bits. There are blissful bits. There are quandaries that you cannot answer. But you go with it. Yeah. And it's colorful and it is black and white.
Yeah.
But it's magic.
Yeah.
So I love Alice. But then there's the ones that I feel like you're obligated to say, like To Kill a Mockingbird and The Great Gatsby and,
the favorites, the
classics. And then the ones that you're reading right now, which I'm reading The Battle of the Bookstores right now, which is fantastic and it's spicy and begging the authors to come to the store.
Take it from there.
Allie. And there's, local authors that I have, like Mary Corby and Jim Sleckman, and all of those authors that make me laugh and know that they just write with a passion and a heart, and they do their research, and they really just put their heart on those pages. Yeah. And God, it's amazing. I've
heard this story that I'm not sure who said it, so don't hold me to this, viewers, but something about it might have actually been Solomon Rushdie said, books and stories are what connect people. And I would probably say that's pretty true.
Yeah.
Because when you finish a story, that's the whole genesis of a book club. It's because you wanted to share what you all thought about a book.
And you might not always agree on it, but you connect in that way.
In this story.
I just had a book club rent the store, which is amazing. It was a group of 15 women who I actually have known for a long time from different aspects of working in the library field and book club field. And they came, they rented the store, but I moderated for them. Mm-hmm. So I had to read their book, which was thankfully one that I had already read. And some very much, and I had questions that I made up that I put into a jar because it was all about this idea. They read By Any Other Name by Jodi Picoult, which is, she always writes tough topics. This one was off kilter kind of for her regular writing. It was a historical romancy type of book, but also about women's voices. And so I took a play, because it has a play in it, on putting the questions in a jar, and you had to pick out the question. So you didn't know what question you were getting.
Oh, okay.
So as the jar was going around the table, the reader had to read the question, and she didn't know what she was getting. So you didn't know what answers you were getting back at you.
Yikes.
So whether you understood the question or agreed with the question, you had to give your honest answer. And that's sometimes very kiltering, it's disarming.
Yeah.
And you don't know who you're getting it back at, who's going to answer strongly, meekly. So it was a very great experience. with a group.
Because at the end of the day, what you're experiencing, that book evoked feelings,
Correct.
negative or positive, but people came out with very oftentimes you felt very strongly or not so strongly. But that's what books can do.
And that's what book clubs do.
Yeah.
And that's what my space is. And I always start a book club by saying this is a safe place. And kind of like Vegas, whatever happens here stays here. And this is your round table. This is your table. This is your space where you can say what you need to say, but we're going to be respectful. We're going to be kind. And if something is uncomfortable, we're going to take that space and take a breath and, get through it, not necessarily sugarcoat it.
Right.
And I don't allow things to be hurtful. The store is home.
It's home. Yeah, it is home.
We're going to treat it nicely.
So speaking of that, can you tell our viewers and our subscribers, where can they find you, Jocelyn?
You can find me at 489 East Main Street, Riverhead, New York, 11901.
And I have to tell you guys, and I'm not getting paid for this, but you will find everything you need there. Any book that you want, you will find there. Your children, you will have to take them out over your shoulder, kicking and screaming. They will not want to leave. Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here. This has been a pleasure. I know, and you are such a beacon of light to Long Island with your books and your stories.
Thank you.
And to me.
I feel the same.
Thank you so much. Thank
you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching and being part of this journey. Remember that lighthouses symbolize hope. With hope, we persevere and inspire positive change. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. Until next time, keep shining your light.